going to survive the zombie apocalypse. The modern culture is obsessed with zombies and preparing for an imaginary apocalypse. Admit it, how many of you have plans for the zombie apocalypse?
Duh. Absolutely.
Of course.
We're all planning for it. We know it. It's coming. Walking Dead, World War Z, we're prepared, okay? What many people don't realize is the apocalypse is already begun. Victims of the epidemic have been infected by the parasitic forward fly, more commonly known as the zombie fly. Many believe the zombie fly has spread pathogens that have led to the collapse of colonies. To prepare for this ongoing epidemic, first, we must identify the enemy, and second, we must find out how this epidemic affects us. The first step in stopping the epidemic will be to know your enemy. The parasitic forward fly is quickly gaining notoriety as the zombie fly due to the zombie-like trances victims fall under after being infected. The zombie fly infects its host by landing on the bee and injecting its eggs into the bee's abdomen. The eggs begin to grow and nourish inside the bee's abdomen and become larvae. The larvae then begin eating the inside of the bumblebee. And anybody would have a bad day if they had a parasite inside of them eating them alive. And this is the result of that bad day. The bumblebee then dies and the larva emerges from the bumblebee. And this is the larva right here in case you can't see. The fly is about 2.2 millimeters long and it's pale yellow, but it can do a lot of damage. It's known to spread pathogens that could lead to colony collapse disorder. Researchers at the University of Calgary and Mount Royal College created an experiment comparing the zombie fly to other parasitic flies and found that bees infected by the zombie fly were more likely to die than bees that were not infected or infected by other types of parasitic flies. A normal bee can have a lifespan of about 50 days, but a bee infected by the zombie fly will die after 10 days. Normal bees, when they're about to die, they'll find a spot, curl up, and die. But bees infected by the zombie fly become very erratic, they enter a zombie-like trance, and they start flying around. They leave home, they don't tell anyone where they're going, and they'll just fly around lights. Many people describe their actions as being in a zombie-like stupor. They can't stand up straight, they're falling around, acting a little tipsy, they fall over, and then they finally die and the larvae emerge, and then we all realize, oh, he had a parasite. That's why he's dead now. The zombie fly may be small, but it has the possibility to severely impact the world. The second step in stopping the epidemic is to learn how it affects us. The Encyclopedia Britannica defines colony collapse disorder as a disorder affecting honeybee colonies that is characterized by sudden colony death. Anytime there's a colony death, then populations of the bees have just died, which is horrible for the agricultural department because the bee pollination industry is very large, and without bees we wouldn't have almonds. They're the main producers in pollination, and the agricultural department needs those bees to pollinate everything and to have them, and without that our agricultural yield will decrease. And it's going to have an economic effect because every single product that uses bee pollination is going to substantially rise, and the prices for those products are going to become outrageous, and the consumer won't be able to pay for it. The zombie fly may be small, but it has a grave impact. Knowing what the zombie bee is and how it's affecting us will be the greatest weapon in this zombie apocalypse. The experiments shed light on the negative impact the zombie fly can have on the bee populations, and the discovery can lead to more research on the zombie fly and their role in colony collapse disorder. So the next time you see a honeybee flying around, remember, it just might be a zombie.
Very good.